So I know a lot of y'all might come at my neck for this, but have y'all seen the video of the 59-year-old nurse? She is an African nurse who says that she hates African American people. She would not march with us for any cause. She said that she particularly does not like African American women and that she thinks that she is better than us. And then she also proceeded to say, you stay in your lane and I'm going to stay in my lane. Well, I feel like for all that, stay in your country. Stay in your country. Like, what are you over here for? If you hate African American people so bad, why won't you stay in Africa? Why did you come over here? Did you come over here because you know there's better opportunities, that you can make a little bit more money, that living conditions might be better? And trust me, I know that Africa is beautiful. I know there are many, many beautiful places in Africa. But what are you here for? What are you here for? And what makes it even worse is that you're a nurse. And I feel like you being a nurse is dangerous. Because if you don't like African American people, how are you going to properly care for an African American person? And I'm going to link her name down below. I'm going to tag her page down below so you guys can see. I don't see that video on her page, but it's definitely her. But yeah, if you don't like us, what are you here for? Stay in your country. You stay in your country and we'll stay in our lanes. We don't need you. We don't need you for anything for real. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and bash Africans because there's a lot of African people that I know that I really, really am cool with. But for you to say all of that and then tell us to stay in our lane, I think you should take your own advice and stay in your own country.
If it wasn't for Black Americans, I, as an African person, wouldn't have the opportunities that I have today in America. So I keep seeing a lot of these comments about how Black Americans relate to my statement about Nigerians don't actually care about Nigerians. They only care about being wealthy to show off to underprivileged Nigerians. That's not how Black Americans operate. Like, I grew up in Nigeria and Black America. The one thing I will tell you about Black Americans, you see how they're into government. They build up their intellect to get into government, to try to do better and support their communities, and they fight to support their communities. If you look at how far in 400 years, 500 years, what African Americans have done and the level of they made life, it's not completely equal, but Black Americans have done a good job of fighting for the rights of their fellow Black Americans to have a better life in America. If it wasn't for Black Americans, I, as an African person, wouldn't have the opportunities that I have today in America. If it wasn't for Black Americans, I wouldn't have the opportunities I have today. So I can't really say that because Black Americans may have their issues, but they have a better sense of community than Africans. I can say for Nigerians, they have a better sense of community and they enjoy communal, like making sure, I'm not saying that they do it perfectly, but you can tell that they put up a fight for their community. They put up a fight for their community more than Nigerians. Sorry, it hurts, but that's the truth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global Gist with BJ. How are you all doing today? I hope you're good, right? I want to see it in the comment section. I'm well, because I care so much about you all, right? Thank you so much for engaging in my content. For the ones sharing, I truly appreciate. The ones commenting, I appreciate a lot, right? So in my community, right, I'm trying to build some form of understanding between we Blacks, right? Both Africans, Black Americans and all of that. So that is just it. So I came across a lot of videos, right, where Black Americans are saying that we Africans don't love them at all, and I'm worried. I don't get it. Probably, maybe the Africans in America, right, or the Africans in diaspora, as we in Nigeria will refer to them as Africans in diaspora. But let me tell you the truth. Over here, you are loved. You are so loved more than you think. I want you to know that. I came across this video of, this woman saying a lot of things, the one you just watched. And I'm so worried. I commented immediately. I gave her that comment. I'm like, I love you so much. Where she mentioned that her colleague that is, African, told her that they don't like Black Americans. And then blah, blah, blah. She felt so bad and she was like, okay. But now here's it. I don't know what it is with the ones that are there, right? Maybe they left here and they misunderstood the people or something. But I don't think that is entirely true. But before I say my conclusion, right, I want you to watch these videos. Then I'll bring my conclusion to you people to see.
Birthright citizenship is going away, and people want black Americans to put the capes on and care about them, and we don't give a shit. Because every time we need another group, including people from the African diaspora, what do? You find ways to shit on our freaking legends like the Buffalo Soldiers, Harriet Tubman, so many others. You find a way to come over and undermine us. You find a way to go in and get under white supremacists, and find a way to just constantly find a way to shit on us. To show us there is no unity. We've tried the whole black and brown unity. We tried to save the freaking African diaspora. At this point, we are fucking resting. We don't give a shit. Now, if I don't speak for you, that's fine. But I can guarantee you a good chunk of black America is sick of everybody's shit. So it don't matter if you come from the freaking diaspora or any other group. We don't care.
Africans do not like black Americans. So this is a fact.
No, it's an opinion, and a very asinine one at that. Because Africa is a continent with 54 countries and over 1.2 billion people. A statement such as Africans don't like African Americans is a very ludicrous statement because one, it's perpetuating this narrative that there is beef and animosity between Africans and African Americans. And two, what that is doing is it's generalizing an entire continent based off of the actions of a couple of African hairdressers who live in America. And this is coming from someone who has traveled to 4 out of 54 of the African countries. Okay, so I went to Tanzania and I was treated like royalty. People were bowing at my feet. I felt like I was some type of long lost queen who had finally returned to the land. Let's talk about Ghana. Ghana was one of the most beautiful countries that I ever visited. I had a family who opened up their home to me. They were feeding me 3 times a day. We were living by the beach. They were doing so much to just make me feel welcomed and loved. So this is for all of my African American people. Go to Africa. Go to the different countries that are there. Learn some of the languages, learn some of the cultures there, because this is the thing. There are more similarities than differences between Africans and African Americans. And we need to kill this narrative. We need to break the plane and start the conversation so that we can get to know each other and enjoy the beautiful continent that we call the motherland, Africa, Azania. Okay? Peace and blessings, y'all.
Africans see African Americans as Africans. You're going to have people that say, oh, Africans don't see African Americans as Africans. They see us as foreigners. I've been to the African continent. I've lived on the African continent. I studied at the University of Johannesburg for an exchange program. One of the questions I was constantly asked was, where are you from? I'd say the United States. They would ask me, where are you really from? They're implying an African country. Because as a black American, when you are on the African continent, Africans don't know you're from the States until you start speaking. They assume you're just another African. So I would have to say a region in Africa because I'm not sure, because of the slave trade. But because we as African Americans, as well as Afro-Caribbeans and those in the diaspora, are black, we blend in. This is why I don't like this whole African versus African Americans versus Afro-Caribbean. Y'all acting like if we dropped y'all in Nigeria, if we dropped y'all in Haiti, if we dropped y'all in the Bahamas, that they finna know you from the States. Yeah, when you start talking, they're gonna know, okay, he has an accent, where is he from? But until that point is asked, you just another African person walking around in the society. Just like you got this debate between African American culture, Afro-Caribbean culture, and African. Like we don't exchange from one another. Like you a black American ain't African, but you eating yams and okra all the time. You an African who said we ain't got no connection with African Americans, but you listening to hip hop and Afrobeat. You say you ain't Afro-Caribbean, but some of your ancestors come from the Barbados and Haiti, Jamaica, and the Bahamas. Well, Jabari, we weren't born there. We aren't from there. They're going to know we're different. Yeah, just like a black person from Mississippi is different from a black person in Ohio. A black person from the Bronx is different from a black person who's from LA. A black person from Enugu is different from a black person in Kano. A black person from Johannesburg is different from a black person from Cape Town. Quit the unnecessary divisions. Africans see African Americans as well as other members of the diaspora as Africans. That don't mean it's kumbaya. It means we are part of the African family, whether or not you live on the continent or abroad. I will go even further and say African American, along with Afro-Caribbean and Afro-Latino culture, all are a part of African culture. They are subsets unique to their own circumstances. And y'all can rep your culture. Because that's what makes African culture special.
Do Africans hate African Americans? The short response to this is don't just take my word for it. Go to Africa and find out for yourself. But honestly, this rhetoric that continues to be pushed is not only downright disgusting, but it's continuing to push a divide amongst us. There are ignorant people in the African community. There are ignorant people in the African American community. Just like when I came here, I used to be made fun of for being African. I don't hold that against them because in the most respectful manner, they did not know any better. They were children and they were just going off for whatever was fed to them. If you go to Africa, you literally get treated like royalty. I'm telling you, royalty, bro. Last year, I went to my village with my boy Manhan, and when I tell you, up to this day, I spoke to my grandma the day before yesterday, and she was like, "Oh, how's my husband? Like, how's my husband?" Like, referring to my friend Manhan. It's like a cultural thing where like your grandma would be like, "Oh, my grandson is handsome," like that, you know, that type of vibe. Like as an African American, when you go to Africa, you literally get praise, bro. I spent all my early life wanting to become like African American, bro. I loved watching Nino Brown. I wanted to be just like Nino Brown. I used to be walking around in Africa with a band-aid under my eye because I wanted to be like Nelly. I only saw posters, just off of posters alone, found him to be so cool. Within my friends group, there was a point where nobody went by their African name. Everybody wanted to be named something else. I was Nelly. Somebody else was 50 Cent. Somebody was Snoop Dogg. Like, that's literally how it was. But the media is not going to tell you that, though. The media is not going to tell you how many fights I got into because somebody wanted to be called Nelly. I'm like, nah, Nelly is me. You're going to have to go find somebody else. And I'm dead ass. If I'm lying, God strike me. This is facts. I remember having a poster of 50 Cent on my wall because I wanted to be like him so bad. You know those tank tops with the bullet going through with the G unit? I wanted to be like, I literally started working out because I wanted to look like 50 Cent. I kid you not. I swear to everything. Does that sound like hatred to you guys?
As a black person from the United States who occasionally goes abroad, I notice that a lot of us have what I like to call the American ego. Now, I'm not saying that this is inherently a good or bad thing, but I am saying that when a situation comes up, a disrespectful situation, usually having something to do with racism, our reactions tend to kind of give away where we're from. Not just our voice, but like how we're physically reacting to the situation. It's interesting because in so many ways we have the ego of the United States, but in the United States we don't have the privilege to back it up, which is why so many of us are incarcerated. Like, the government loves that we have this ego about us because it gives them another excuse to lock us up, even though everybody's kind of displaying this form of ego in the United States. Anyway, let me give you an example. I'm at a hotel in Lima, Peru. In the elevator, there is a Peruvian couple to my side, and there are 3 Canadians that get in. And I know they're Canadians because they're very loudly bragging about being from Montreal to the front desk workers. So I know they're Canadian when we get on the elevator. And I assume this dumbass bitch was about the mind that I didn't know English. So she turns around and, like, to her friends, she's like looking dead at me as she says this. So that's why I'm like, she probably doesn't think I know English. But she goes, I wonder if she's like an N-word from Jamaica or like an N-word from America or like an N-word from... And I don't know what she was going to say next because by the time she gets to that third N-word, my hand is just moving. It's just moving. Allegedly my hand is moving. And then she's fallen against the elevator door. And she's holding her face, and she's looking so fucking confused. And the other white girl next to her is looking confused, and the white guy behind the second girl goes American. And for a second, I think about responding to him, but then she's like getting up again. She's getting up off the door, and she's headed toward, she's like angled toward me. And I don't want that. So she ends up back against the door, don't know how. And then it's their turn to get off the elevator. So they get off the elevator, and she just kind of follows them, and it just left me thinking, like, that was a really American response.
Honestly, I'm sick and tired of hearing a lot of people saying things about black people this, Africa this, and that. Let's get some facts straight. If you hate Africa so much, that's fine. Don't try to find out where your ancestors are from. It's okay, you're born here, accept that. We accept that too. But we never force our narratives on you that are over here or people who claim to be born over here. That's fine. But you guys find it so okay and normal to talk nonsense and say stupid things about Africans or the people that migrated from Africa to the United States like it's the end of the world for them. Listen, let me tell you something you don't understand. Just because we come over here to adventure into things does not make us less of who we are. You should be actually grateful for the fact that Africans come over to the United States or to the other countries to help liberate you guys from the things you don't even know. Okay? It's just like in the Bible, like when God told Adam and Eve not to eat the forbidden fruit. I'll put it this way. We are the forbidden fruit. There's a lot of things you guys didn't know existed until we started coming here. If we didn't come here, some of you wouldn't even have that mindset to be trying to endeavor in different type of businesses. I'm not saying you guys haven't been doing that for a while, but at the same time, we are the evolution of you, not the other way around. Because the whites are over there still playing that card on your head all the time. But guess what? We show in within a year, we get in houses, buying cars, feeding numerous family members, starting businesses. Should I continue? There's a lot of African businesses out there that employ black Americans, regardless of their backgrounds. They still give them jobs. But some of you are over here easily bashing people that you don't even know about. Some of you find it easy to say, oh, you African booty scratcher, you this, you that. What about you? If we have to choose to call you a certain name, you'll be so depressed easily. We don't get depressed. We don't. We just sit there and find a way to move on from it. And that's why we believe we are mentally strong. We don't play on all this emotional stuff like every other person play over here. We get knocked down, we get up, we move. Now you're talking about the Essence show, where were all the black Americans when they were selling it or trying to look for board members? None of you wanted to buy it until a Nigerian and a Kenya decided to step in to take over that. And still yet, you hate on it, but guess who attended it more? Yeah, you. yeah, I saw some of you over there. I saw some of you over there, but you're pretending, talking nonsense. You ever want to try out the fufu you can get? Guess what? We don't get all this bugger. We don't do all that. We eat real food. That's why when you want to get physical and somebody knocks you out like one blow, 7 apples, you're going to get some. So the truth hurts. You're talking about your ancestors. You're talking about you not being from Africa. Some of you don't even know your great-grandfather's last name. Yeah? And nobody said you can't go to Africa. Nobody said that. Book a flight. You have a passport. Passport gives you the right to travel. Use it. Use it. Explore. Because there's a saying, a man who travels is more knowledgeable than a man who stays at home. So don't be out there being sad, being pitiful, trying to arrange groups of people to agree on your own ideology because you're not well versed and educated. I have been to so many countries. I have witnessed a lot of lifestyles. But I don't know about you. Maybe you go from Texas to New York and you think you already traveled. I'm sorry. Going to Jamaica does not make you a traveler. I said that. Going to Cancun does not make you a traveler. Yes, I said that. But at the same time, ignorante, I bet you didn't understand that, because when you don't have ears, ask questions. So I'm saying this to some of you that find it so easy to run their mouth, what they call butter. Like you spit out nonsense just because you want to say, oh, I'm not from Africa. I'm not from. You don't have to be from Africa. You can be from Egypt. Even Egypt is part of Africa. You can be from some other country. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. At least if you're not from Africa, tell us where your great-grandfather or your great-great-great-great-grandfather told you that his father is from. At least maybe if you can answer your own questions, maybe you'll be emotionally fine. Because I feel like you're just running around like a dog without tail, chasing something that we don't even know. Trying to put your bad energy on other people who didn't even cause your problem. And you forget about the people who came to Africa or who still coming to Africa to take stuff. And those people that brought your great-grandfather here, you forget about them. Now we the problem. Actually, I'll put it this way. If you want to get some lands, let me know. I will help you. If you want to become a citizen of Nigeria, to be precise, I will help you. Don't be sad. At least I'm giving you that option right now. Don't be sad, okay? Stay blessed and stop hating. Make sure you eat good today, okay? Because I feel like when people are hungry, they start talking nonsense. So make sure you eat at least 3 times a day. Them burgers are not food. It's good food. Eat good food. Okay? Yeah, stay blessed.
So, y'all Black Americans, this is for you. I want you to know that you're loved. Like I said when I started this video, you guys are loved. It doesn't matter what you feel, right? I know a lot of things would have been twisted, but the thing is, if you want to see if you're loved, right? A lot of you haven't even left America to Africa. Try visiting Africa for once. And then when you get to that place, you're like, oh, I'm Black American. You see how welcoming people are towards you people in Africa. You'll be shocked. People, there's this warmth. There's this, oh my God. There's this, you can literally feel it. I, for one, here want my own brother to get married to a Black American that is going to live here with us, right? Somebody we can actually take as ours. So she can even feel love. Is that serious? I've always told them, say it must be this or it must be that. No matter what, I don't want a white. You get that is it. You guys, you're not aware. You don't know. You don't know what you're talking about. To be honest, you don't know it. You people are so loved. Forget whatever you're feeling. I know a lot of these Africans from here might have disappointed you people. I'm very sure. Some of them might have come with relationship and It didn't work. At the end of the day, they followed white. You understand? There's this desperation with a lot of people that leave Africa to go to, places like US, Europe, to go, better their life and all of that. They do the unthinkable. But the truth is, you guys are valued here. To be honest, if it's a lie, okay, come and visit me. Come and visit me and feel loved. Yes, let me tell you, come visit me, good person, and feel loved. If you think it's a lie, come, let me show you love. And again, I think the Black Americans are not getting the respect from the Black counterparts in America, because sometimes I don't know what it is. Like I said, I've not been to America before, but I feel these people have gone through a lot, right? Now I'm talking about Black Americans. They've gone through a lot, and now because of that trauma, some of them are, they always come off as very, very, they have strong personalities. And some people will be like, no, I can't do. And one thing with the African person feel, who the hell are you? I better get out. You understand? So now they don't look at you people from that part of pain. They be like, to hell with you. But the thing is, you guys deserve all the flowers, because do you know what people pass through? We're talking about your generations. We're talking about your ancestry. You guys have gone through a lot. And please abuse that mentality of, oh, if they're coming to say they like us, they want to take from us. It's a lie. It's a lie. If you come to places like Nigeria, we have a lot of billionaires here. To be honest, let me tell you the truth. We respect you guys. I just pray this little plea of mine and show of love will disabuse everything you have about, the Haitians, the Ghanaians, the Black people in America towards you people, and come to believe that we are all, we are all one. To be honest, we are all one. Africa must unite. So if you have not followed me, if you've not subscribed, please kindly do. Let me see your comments. Let me see why you decided to change. What is your own whatever? Have you checked for your DNA? Have you checked for your ancestry? Let me see everything in the comments. Then I'll be like, okay, fine. I want to see it. See you on the next one.